guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in case you don't know who I am Harley, and so we're gonna go ahead and talk about one of our favorite things that we love to talk about on this channel, which has to do with ICE. So ICE actually made its way to North Carolina, as you saw in the intro of the video. Now I have this video from New York Post. Border Patrol snatches man at Walmart as ICE operation kicks off in Charlotte. So let's go ahead and jump into the video.
Look at him. Bitch ass nigga. Look, they riding around in minivans and shit.
Y'all don't know, y'all don't. Y'all literally have been doing this. I've been seeing it all across America. No, y'all have not. Y'all literally arrest people for no fucking reason. No, y'all have bad.
So yeah, that's the video for New York Post. We also have this video coming from Fox News Clips. Harrowing second car ramming attempt on ICE agents in North Carolina raises alarms. Now, you've seen my videos. You know how these crazy people are. They're always trying to go after ICE. They're either trying to murk them, you know, by trying to carry, you know, weapons with them, as we saw at some of the ICE protests. And some of them, you know, try to carry knives. You also had them try to get, you know, pew-pewed at, because you had that incident in Dallas where they tried to snipe them. And then, of course, you had the incidents in Chicago with the Lion King games and the cartels, you know, putting out hits on ICE. And then you also had the car ramming by Muddy Mod. So this is nothing new. ICE has been getting like a hella lot of like flack, and this is all because of the rhetoric from the left. You have Democrats, politicians, celebrities, even influencers coming out here all the time talking trash, spewing lies, and this is what's ramping up the hatred towards ICE. Now, as soon as you tell these people that this was the same stuff that was going on during the Obama administration and where were they at, they always like to try and say like, well, we're talking about this president. Or they'll like to say stuff like, well, he never did that. And if you show the facts, they just shut down or walk away. You know, like they don't want to hear facts because, you know, lefties hate facts, you know, because facts don't care about your feelings. But let's go ahead and jump into this video and see what's up.
DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs Tricia McLaughlin is with us now. So I want to put that video back on that we just showed of this van. The agents had stopped at an intersection, and you see this rather large van swing around the agents that were stopped. That's not what this video is. I'm not sure what that. Here's the video we're looking for. Watch this. They're there. They get out of their cars. This van swings around everything, just about grazes the officers there, and takes off with a couple of...
So I don't know if you heard that part. You might have to like raise the volume up more. And I could replay it so you guys, maybe we can hear it and see if I can raise it up more. Because I have my volume pretty high, but you can hear the chick scream like, ram him, hit him, you know, which is so crazy. But let's go ahead and rewind it a little.
Around everything, just about grazes the officers there, and takes off with a couple of van. I'm not sure what that. Here's the video we're looking for. Watch this. They're there. They get out of their cars. This van swings around everything, just about grazes the officers there, and takes off.
Yeah, you hear her saying like, ram him, get him, which is really disgusting. Like that chick should literally get locked up. But you know, because technically that's like a threat, I guess. I don't know. I just don't like, I just think that's disgusting and vile for someone to be screaming. I mean, that's a human life, you know, regardless of what they do for a living, you know? I wonder if she would be saying the same thing if the person that these guys were arresting was somebody that, you know, raped their daughter or murked, you know, someone they loved. I'm pretty sure that's not what she'd be screaming. She'd probably be wanting to attack those people, but yeah, that's how these people are. They're such hypocrites.
Federal vehicles in hot pursuit. That prompted a dangerous high-speed chase through a neighborhood. In the apprehension, an officer was injured. Here's what DHS said. The perpetrator has prior arrests for resisting law enforcement, public disturbance, and intoxication, disruptive conduct. And then there was that other ramming issue today in a parking lot. I mean, this is another example of people taking to heart what a lot of opponents of these operations have said, and that is do anything possible to get into ICE's way.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, he's absolutely right. So you have, you know, these people like Brandon Johnson, Governor Pritzker, who were saying, resist, resist, rise up, you know? And then you have, like, the person from LA, I don't know if it was the mayor or a council person, but they were, or an alderman, but they were saying, where are the gangbangers at? Why aren't you protecting your hood? Knowing full fact what these gangbangers would do. So that person should be arrested for that language, to be honest, because she was actually doing a call to action. So I don't know why she's not in handcuffs. Anyways, but with rhetoric like this, where you're telling people to go out and do something, you're literally asking for a civil war. You're literally asking these people to harm ICE agents who are just doing their job. They're literally following the law. They're not breaking laws. It might be a law you don't like, but that's not the point. Even if you don't like the law, you know, like there's people out there that don't like the law that you can't commit murder. Does that mean that everybody should go out and murder? No. You know, there's laws for a reason. You know, these were laws that were put in place. If you don't like them, then vote. Vote for the people that you want to change the laws. Hold your leaders accountable for not changing those laws, but do not go out there and harm people. And it's ridiculous amount of hate and harm that's coming to ICE agents. It's getting out of control. But let's keep going.
Absolutely. And just yesterday, as you mentioned, that law enforcement officer was injured. I was on the phone with law enforcement immediately after this ramming incident. They said it was one of the most intense and harrowing chases they'd ever been a part of. And this the driver was running over the curb. There was a very high volume of traffic in this area. It was putting public safety at risk and not just law enforcement. But then again, we saw it again today, another U.S. citizen. This was, we're still getting more information as this just happened about an hour ago. But this individual looks like he was a transgender individual who was part of some sort of anti-ICE group. And as soon as we have more information on that, we'll make sure it becomes available to you.
What I find very curious about the opposition to these operations is that you have some protests that are definitely organized.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we saw those in Charlotte over the weekend as well. A lot of people gathered together. They had signs. They were marching. And then there are these ad hoc attacks by somebody just driving a vehicle who says, I'm going to ram into ICE.
We're seeing both, right? We're seeing those lone wolf attacks, but then we're also seeing these highly professionalized, highly organized protesters who will move from city to city. They might be in Portland one day and Chicago the next, Los Angeles, and that's...
And we saw that with, and I don't know if I got to do the video about it yet, but I was watching it with Nick Shirley, sorry, where he went to the DC protest that was happening there, and he ran into, like, I think 1 or 2 protesters that were from the Portland one, you know, and he's like, oh, you're here. And the guy was like, yeah, you know, I came here to show my support, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of these protesters are, you know, going from city to city, state to state, you know, and so it is very well organized, and I'm pretty sure it's funded. And, you know, I know that because they, you know, put Antifa as a terrorist group, that means that they're now allowed to look into the funding and see who's funding it and hold those people accountable. So we probably know who those people are. We just probably can't really say much until we know facts, you know, but I think we all have an idea. But let's keep going.
really why President Trump and Secretary Noem have ordered this whole of government approach to follow that money. Where is this coming from? Who is paying for the travel for these individuals? Who's paying and footing the bill for the violence we're seeing against our ICE law enforcement officers?
Right. So Operation Charlotte's Web, from a DHS standpoint, has been very successful so far. 130 apprehensions at least over the first couple of days. And Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said it's not going to stop just at apprehending criminal illegal aliens. Listen to what he said.
We're going to focus on the worst of the worst, but we're also going to make sure if you're here in the country legally, we're going to get you out. And to the employers who employ and attract a lot of these illegal aliens that come in and steal American jobs, we're going to focus on those American companies as well.
Now, there's all of these protests to say, okay, you're not just focusing on criminal illegal aliens, you're focusing on folks who are just in this country illegally, you're focusing now on employers. But this is exactly what the Obama administration did in 2012, 2013, 2014. They went after criminal, they prioritized criminal illegal aliens, but they deported a lot of other people too.
Exactly.
Who were just in the country illegally, and there wasn't a huge hue and cry from the left about that.
If you're in this country illegally, you made two choices, not just to enter the country illegally or stay in the country illegally, but now you have a choice as well. You can leave now, take a $1,000 exit bonus, free flight home, and then potentially return the right legal way. But if you don't, the message is very clear. We will arrest you, but I also think that there are more facts here as well. There's about 1,400 criminal illegal aliens that right now are in North Carolina in Charlotte's jails that they refuse to turn over to ICE law enforcement. If those sanctuary city politicians would work with us and actually let us into their jails to take out these MS-13 gang members, murderers, serial child rapists, which I've seen these lists of people, they are heinous individuals who are in these jails. If they are released back into Charlotte and not turned over to ICE, they will go on to re-perpetuate crimes.
Right.
I'll be right back.
And as you say that,
So guys, I had to get up because my dog, she was crying. Let me show you her. That's her. That's Cara. She feels the need to complain sometimes. I have no idea why, but she does. I think she just likes to be on video or want you guys to hear her speak. But let's keep going with our video.
you're getting pushback from city and county officials. Here's what they said. The expected U.S. Customs and Border Protection's operations are causing unnecessary fear and uncertainty in our community, as recent operations in other cities have resulted in people without criminal records being detained and violent protests being the result of unwarranted actions. We stand with all the residents who simply want to go about their lives. But if, as you say, they've got all of these criminal illegal aliens populating their jails, and I don't know if Mecklenburg County and Charlotte are sanctuary cities or they're just operating
As such.
as such, why would they want to keep these criminals in their cities and potentially release them, as you pointed out, back onto the streets?
It's truly nonsensical, John. But I think that the really answer is that they should be working with ICE law enforcement, particularly in those jails. We're yet to see if that'll actually happen, though.
Right. So from Charlotte, we're understanding, we had Jeff Landry on a little bit earlier. New Orleans is the next city that you're probably going to go into.
TBD, but I will say about Charlotte, and this is what the local leadership is leaving out of the equation, is the fact that it is an epicenter for human trafficking. They're ranked number 9 in the country. They also have a massive gang problem. It's also become a major hub for gangs, especially MS-13. That's part of why we're seeing that human and labor trafficking. They have a very advantageous, I guess I should say, highway system as far as I-95 and other major hubs that make it easy to travel from Florida to New York. So this becomes a hub spot for that human trafficking.
You know, I remember years ago, Charlotte was like the jewel of the South, you know, the center for banking, and now it's just
and it still can
seemingly gone so wrong in so many ways.
It still can be, but our law enforcement is getting to work, and where these leaders are failing, our law enforcement will step up.
And we saw that poor Ukrainian woman who was killed on the LRT. Just crazy. Trish, great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Sandra?
Breaking. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
So yeah, that was that video in regards to what's going on in Charlotte. It's crazy because, you know, even if you tell these people about everything that, you know, these illegals are doing, these people still don't get it. They don't want to get it. You know, they're so enthralled with the Kool-Aid that they drink that they can't even think straight. But then again, this is why they're freaking lemmings. Am I right? But I have one last video to show you guys, and this is again from Fox News. This is breaking Charlotte's Web DHS sweep in full swing. So let's just go ahead and jump into this video.
They're calling it Operation Charlotte's Web. It's in full swing in North Carolina and already seeing impressive results.
But despite the success, hundreds gathered in protest over the weekend to push back against the operation.
Madison Scarpino is in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's got the latest from there for us. Hi, Madison.
Good morning, you guys. The feds are hoping to get as many criminal illegal immigrants off the streets as they can, and they're already making progress with dozens and dozens of arrests since Saturday. And these arrests are happening in several areas around Charlotte, as the mission is to ensure Americans are safe and remove public safety threats, according to DHS. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino says they arrested 81 illegal migrants in just 5 hours, and we're expecting that number to grow significantly. Bavino says most of those arrested have a, quote, significant criminal and immigration history, and he says those crimes range from assault, larceny, hit and runs to DUIs. Here's former acting ICE Director Ron Vitello. Listen.
They are absolutely going after the worst of the worst. People who are in the country illegally, have a final order of deportation, post-due process, if you will, and have committed other crimes in the United States. Heinous crimes. That's the targeting that is underway.
But many Charlotte residents and local officials say these operations are causing unnecessary fear and uncertainty. As you can see in this video, many people are angry about CBP being here. And on Saturday, hundreds gathered downtown to protest Operation Charlotte's Web. And many of those protesters say immigrants are now living in fear.
I'm a parent. My parent are immigrants. You know, it's not okay having to worry like if they're gonna make it home or not. You know, it's just not okay what they're doing right now.
And there was also a small protest yesterday outside of a local DHS office. We know that 2 people were arrested, but right now it's unclear what for. But as you guys can imagine, things are changing quickly here on the ground, and we're watching it all. Back to you.
All right, Madison, thank you very much. Shows you how things are changing fast there, Brian.
Yes, I would get those police platters up quickly so people think and will understand that they're not targeting Hispanic people or Central and South American people. And for that young girl, her parents have nothing to worry about if they're here legally. That's the problem. And if they had committed a crime besides breaching the border, that's going to make it doubly hard. And that's just it. You could get mad at ICE, but what ICE is doing is trying to correct what President Biden did, probably intentionally. He let about 10 to 15 million people here illegally, and they're spread out across the country, many of which have criminal records, and it's a lot easier to let them in than it is to round them up. And this is the part when they're rounding them up. But they have to also do communications to express to the American people that these people are not being targeted. It's criminals that are being scooped up.
There is also one component of this that the left could help minimize. If you would just offer up the people that are in custody right now, then ICE wouldn't have to surge.
Facts. How many times have I said that, guys? That Brandon Johnson, Governor Pritzker, literally all these Democratic mayors and governors, when they went to in front of Congress or the Senate, when they were being questioned, they literally told them, when ICE gives you like paperwork saying, hey, do you have this person in your jail? And instead of saying like, yeah, we'll hold them for you, you guys are like, yes, but we let them go. We're not going to hold them for you. It's like, y'all could make these people's lives so much easier. There wouldn't be any fear mongering if you would have just held them in the jails. They would have came there, grabbed them, scooped them up, shipped them out. Super simple. But no, y'all want to play these games because y'all want these people to vote for you in the next election. And honestly, it's stupid because Trump won. One of the things he was literally running on was immigration, and he won because of that, because people got so sick and tired of all these illegals here. They were just so done, so over it. Like, I know me personally, I was over it. I was like, boot them out, man. Like, I don't want those people here. And I don't care what people say. If they're saying, oh, you're racist for saying that, I don't care. Like, call me whatever the hell you want. That's your personal business or your problem, because I don't give two about it. All right, like, I'm a big girl, so it don't matter what you think of me. I don't care. Like, that's your business. You deal with your own trauma, whatever. But I personally voted for this. Boot them out. I'm good with that.
Resources into your neighborhood. If you want to have an impact on this and you want the people that are working on farms and working in hospitality to have a shot and go through the legal process, then the people that are in custody, that's the easy way to get the numbers up. The people that are in custody, just turn them to ICE. When they have a detainer put on someone, just allow them to scoop them up. But they won't do that, Sandra.
You know, they're saying that the protesters on the ground are saying that this operation is causing unnecessary fear and uncertainty. Well, tell that to the victims of crimes of illegal migrants, illegal criminal migrants, some of who have felony assaults, DUIs, felony larceny. These are the people that they are taking off the street and further attempting to take off the streets there.
Very much a purple state. And keep in mind, there's a big Senate race right now when you have the governor who was really reasonably popular, Cooper, when he left. And then you got Michael Whatley, who ran the RNC. So they're going to, Whatley's going to embrace this. And he's going to say, no, I'm for this. And Cooper's going to go the other direction. So people in North Carolina are really going to have a choice to make.
Yep.
All right, Operation Charlotte's Web underway.
I'm Steve Deuce.
I do love whoever's naming these freaking operations is very cool. I could have sworn I read one that said Operation Douchebag, but I could be wrong about that, or it could have just been a troll on X. But either way, that was hilarious. Charlotte's Web, that's so cute. Honestly, I don't have a problem with, people come here illegally. And again, like, I've had people comment to me before talking about, some people, it does take them about 30 years to process it. And I don't have a problem with if it takes them 30 years to go through the legal process. That's understandable if you're going through the process. What I talk about is people who've never done it, who literally just came here legally, and then when now they're running scared, now they're trying to file to become legal. And that should not take 30 years. Like, you should have did it since day one. But there's a reason why they don't. Okay? And it is a crime. It's 8 USC, 1325, which it's illegal to cross the border. So these people should just be booted out. Y'all could just self-deport. It would be simpler. You wouldn't get banned. You'd be able to go through the legal process and come back the right way, and nobody would have a problem with that. But the fact that these people are just fear-mongering, you had that little boy who I was laughing at that so hard, that was crying, talking about that he has fear that they're gonna take his parents who are legal. They will not take your parents, stupid. Stop listening to CNN or Facebook or TikTok, because that's just a lie. Like, I'm so over these people just trying to push this narrative, and it's just ridiculous. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Till next time, guys.